So hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now on today's video, winter's coming, or autumn is here, so it's getting colder. What I'm going to go through today on the video is some new gear that I've bought to winterize myself, but also look at some products that I use on the bike to winterize the bike as well, to stop it corroding with the salt on the roads. Now, if you've got multiple bikes in your garage, you might want to use just one of those bikes instead of all of them throughout the winter. No point ruining all of your bikes, but I'll go through shortly some products that will help you keep the bikes in tip-top condition. This is a proven method that I've been using now for years on all of my bikes, and I've got zero rust or corrosion on any of them. Now, with the two bikes that I own, this being the Tiger 1200 Rally Pro and the Bonneville T120 Black, I'll be using the Rally Pro more in the winter. Now let's get into gear. Now, over the last, I would say 10 years, I've had all kinds of gear. Jackets that I bought and have been cold in the winter, not been waterproof. So what I've done this time is I've gone out and bought myself a new jacket, a Gore-Tex jacket, and also I bought some new pants that you see me wearing just here, and also some new boots for this winter. So what did I get in the end? Well, as I mentioned, Gore-Tex. I wanted to get a Gore-Tex jacket, and I went for an Alpine Stars. This is called the Ketchum. Now I wanted to go with a colour, not just black, so I went with the Ketchum Forest, because it has khaki green on it, as does the bike, just a little bit matching. But I just like the style of the jacket. It is a Gore-Tex jacket. Now, prices out there, when I was looking, range from probably £400 up to over £1,000 for a Gore-Tex jacket. So there's a lot of price scale. Is the £1,000 jacket better than the £400–500 jacket? Who knows? But if it's from a good manufacturer, this one that I've got on, the Ketchum Forest, was about £500. Good brand, so I expect it to be good. It does have a thermal liner on the inside. It also has some air vents that you can zip open on the front and the back. It's got some waterproof pockets. It's got all adjustment on the sleeves and the cuffs, and also zips on the cuffs to let some extra air up your sleeves on a cool day. Now, I was expecting this weekend to be a bit cold. Actually, it's 18.5 degrees today, so I've actually taken the liner out of the jacket. Coming to the M6 now at motorway speeds just above. No wind has got through this with it being Gore-Tex, so I've been perfectly warm. But yeah, really happy with that jacket. It comes with CE level 2, I think it is, armour in the shoulders and in the elbows. You don't get a back protector, so if you've got any of those lying around, there's a pocket to put one in. I actually use a Climb airbag vest underneath this, so when you're sizing up for any clothing, that's another thing that can be an issue. If you're ordering online, you don't know whether that size is going to fit you, and if you're wearing an airbag vest underneath, you need to go one size up. So I went down to a store to try one on. They haven't got this colour. They had a black one in, so I tried the jacket on first. They hadn't got this in my size, so I had to order it online. Now, the trousers that I mentioned, now these are from Dainese. Got Dainese written on the side, or Dainese. No idea how to spell it, someone can let me know. They have air vents as well in the tops. They are fully lined, so removable liners within. They've got zips on the bottom so that you can actually zip them and put them over your boots pretty easily. Like so. They've got adjustable waist as well. You can also zip these onto a jacket. Now, why did I go for Dainese over Alpine Stars? Now, the reason for that, I did order some Alpine Stars trousers. They actually came, I think I got them from sportbikeshop.co.uk. Great place, next day delivery. And the trousers that I actually got, the Alpine Stars one, tended to be, or all of them tend to be, very tight fitting on your legs, and I didn't like that. I like them to be a little bit loose. So I sent those back. Now it literally took 3 days to get the money back in my account, and then I ordered these. They came. The sizing is really spot on, because the sizing can be a little bit all over the place between manufacturers. So that's the trousers. Really happy with those. First time I've worn them today. And also I mentioned the boots. These boots from Alpine Stars. They are a full length boot, like a motocross boot, with clips on as well, fully adjustable. But what I like about these is they're like a leather waxed or an oiled leather boot. I'll show you these just up close now. And at the moment I'm just breaking those boots in. They're a little stiff, but like anything, they loosen up after a few weeks. Now you can get over jackets and pants. This is an Oxford one. This is a rain seal jacket that I took on my trip to Italy, and I actually used this throughout France when it rained. Really, really good, and keeps the water out, so that's a cheaper solution for when it's raining. But obviously you need a warmer jacket in the winter if you're not using this anyway. So that's one option. If I'm packing light and I'm going on a trip in the summer throughout Europe, I'll normally take these and wear something a little bit lighter, like jeans and things. Now other things, gloves. These are some winter gloves that I have. These are the Merlin Products 2 gloves. Really good, but when it gets down to about 2 or 3 degrees in the UK, I normally wear my heated gloves from RST. These come with a battery in the cuff and 3 different settings. The batteries last for about 4 hours on a ride, and I have 2 sets of batteries, so I've got 8 hours of riding just off the battery heated gloves. These are really, really good. They're a full gauntlet glove, and I really, really like those. So heated gloves or heated gear is an option, and with that, heated clothing. Now this is my Kais heated vest. This heated vest is powered by a battery. It has 3 settings, and it's very lightweight, goes under any jacket. Even on the low setting, it lasts for about 4 or 5 hours, which is enough for a ride out, and that's my preferred go-to heated vest if I get a little bit cold when it gets down towards 0 in the winter months. Now another thing to keep warm in winter is a screen. Make sure you've got a good screen on your bike that you can adjust up and down to keep that wind chill off you. On the Tiger it has a decent screen, but also heated grips. If you've not got heated grips fitted as standard on your motorcycle, then you can get some aftermarket ones. They really help. But if you've got or you're using heated gloves, then you don't really need heated grips. I ride between a couple of bikes. On the Bonneville it doesn't have heated grips, so I prefer the heated gloves. These gloves allow me to switch bikes and then have warmer hands in winter, so that's what I prefer. The Tiger came with heated grips. I do like them, and I'll use those as an extra when I don't have my heated gloves on. Okay, so next, helmets. Make sure you're wearing a helmet that is warm inside. This one being the Array Tour X4. Now the Array Tour X4 is really, really warm inside, although it has a lot of ventilation that you can close. It's one of the warmest helmets that I've actually bought in the past few years, and I don't get any wind rushing past my ears, making my ears cold, so that's really good. Visors, in the winter it gets, in a couple of weeks I think the clocks change, and then we'll have dark, very early nights. Make sure that you've got a clear visor. This is a semi-tinted one if you're riding as it's getting dark to enable you to see properly. And also on the inside I use a pin lock on this helmet. Now a pin lock stops it steaming up when obviously the outside air temperature is cold and then you're breathing inside the helmet. So most helmets come with a pin lock accessory or a pin lock ready visor that you can actually purchase one of these. Highly recommend a pin lock. Get one in your lid. It'll really help out in the winter. Okay, so let's talk about the motorcycle itself, how you can prepare and help the bike to stop getting corroded in winter. As I mentioned, there's various products that I use. One thing I always do is make sure that I always wash my bike after every ride in winter. In summer, I wash it every 2 or 3 rides, but if you've got road grime and salt on the bike, it's best not to leave it. If you leave it 1 or 2 days, it's going to eat into the metal parts, and then your bike's going to corrode. So yeah, so what I do is after every ride, I know it takes a little bit longer, wash the bike thoroughly, and then also I use a dryer. Now this is a small one that I bought off Amazon. It's a bike and car dryer. It gets all the water off virtually. What I normally do after I wash it is just start the engine, run the engine till it comes up to about 60 degrees, turn the engine off, and then that can dry any water that's got into any nooks and crannies within the engine bay. But there's a couple of products that I do use, so I'll show you those now. Now there's a few different brands that I use, one being Muck-Off. I use quite a bit of their products, but one product I do use is silicone shine. Now silicone shine is good for black plastics, but it's also good for repelling water. So after every wash, when I'm doing the black plastics, I just give the engine bay a little bit of a spray over with silicone shine, and it just gives it that extra protection and repellent between every wash. Now the other product I use is ACF 50. Now ACF 50 has been around a long time. I'll put a link in the top right hand corner just here on how I actually apply that, and I do it twice a year, and that helps protect the bike. It bonds to the metal at a molecular level, so I believe. So it's been used in the airplane industry for a long time, so it's thoroughly tested, and it's always kept my bikes in tip-top condition. Now there's a channel that did a test. I think it's Bennett's Bike Social channel that did a test on different anti-corrosion products that are out there on the market today. And in the test, I'll try and find it, and I'll try and put a link in the top right hand corner just now. And out of that test, ACF 50 actually came second in the test, and there was a product that came first above it, and the product is from XCP Professional, and it's Rust Blocker Clear Coat. Now this is an aerosol, and on the back of it, it says it can be used on motorcycles, cycles, boats, automotive, aeroplanes, or anything aviation. This has a really nice little spray on the top. It's not as gloopy as ACF 50, and I tend to spray the engine bay and metal parts on the bike about every 3 to 4 washes with this. Just give it a quick blast, a quick coat, and I found that this actually really helps the bike to stay tip-top and not corrode. So I'll be using a coat of ACF 50, which I'll be putting on the bike shortly for winter, and then every other wash or every 2 or 3 washes I'll be giving it a top up with this, and that should really stop any corrosion coming over the winter. You don't have to use both ACF 50 and this, you can use either one or the other. This one came out top, but I've not thoroughly tested just this yet, so maybe I won't use the ACF 50 this winter. Maybe I'll just try this and see how we get on, and then I can report back in the spring. Now there's another brand that I highly recommend. I've been using it now for a couple of years, and this is from a company called Dr. Downpipes. They make waxes, they make chain lube, chain cleaner, they make even polishes for matte black paintwork and things like that, or any matte paintwork. Now this bike is shaft driven. It doesn't have a chain, but the Bonneville has a chain. This is Dr. Downpipes chain lube that I use throughout the winter. If I was using the Bonneville in the winter, I would probably clean the chain probably every month, just once with some chain cleaner from theirs, and then give it a good old lube with this just to keep it in tip-top condition and keep it adjusted. One product they recently came out with is an anti-corrosion barrier. This one I haven't tested thoroughly yet. I will be putting it through a bit of a test during the winter period. Now, I've tried all kinds of waxes from all kinds of companies. Dr. Downpipes, I highly recommend it. It's one that I've used now for over a year. It's called Dr. Downpipes Speed Shine. It has carnauba wax in it. It's just a spray on wax and wipe off. It smells absolutely gorgeous. In fact, my wife said, oh, what's that smell? That smells nice. Now, normally she says any chemical I'm putting on my bike smells disgusting. This one actually smells good, so that's a bonus. And it protects between washes. It's got UV protection inside. So that's my preferred one. That's Speed Shine from Dr. Downpipes, and I use that in between washes just to clean the screen or any plastic parts, the metal tank. or anything else. Even the wheels on the bike I do with this. Now, other things to check on the bike are your brake pads. Make sure they've got plenty of meat on them for winter. Check your tyres, make sure there's plenty of tread on the tyres and they're a tyre that can expel water and not a slick. Like I said, on the back of this bike we have a shaft drive, not a chain drive, so if it's a chain drive, make sure to keep that maintained and make sure to keep your tyre pressures at the recommended levels. Another thing to mention is on the Tiger just here, you can see the pink liquid, which is antifreeze just in here. Make sure this is topped up. As you can see, this is to the top notch, but just keep that. If it's clear and just water in there, you might want to put some antifreeze and get that system flushed out ready for winter. Now also in winter, how can you help with your riding style? Well, you can slow down a little bit, you can allow more space between the cars in front of you and yourself, so stay further back. You can also reduce your lean angle with you slowing down a little bit. You don't have to lean over as much, and that way you're getting more a contact patch on your tyre with the surface of the tarmac. In winter I always try and brake front and rear brake a little bit similar. If you're using both brakes, you've got more braking force then without as much force on the lever, and that helps stop lockups of the front or rear tyre. Now most bikes these days have got ABS, which will kick in if you're using the brake too much and it starts to slip. So things that you've got on most modern motorcycles these days is ABS, cornering traction control, things like that will assist you in winter. Now what I do on bikes that have that, I normally put the bike into rain mode if it has a mode, and then that can adjust those parameters a little bit better for winter riding. Also look at your road positioning behind cars on the road. I tend to ride either 3/4 left or 3/4 right, and not right in the middle of the road on a winter road. And the reason for that is if I do slow down and then brake and a wheel locks up, then I can actually try and get out of it by moving to the side of the vehicle before I actually hit the back of the vehicle. Now I had an instance last winter that taught me this, where I was riding in the middle of the road and I braked heavily on the front. It was on a loan bike, a press bike at the time. The ABS didn't kick in and the front wheel locked, and then I slid about 3 meters. It was only at a traffic light, so I was just slowing down, and I hit the back of the car. The tyre touched his bumper at the back. It was a plastic bumper. No marks were left, but my heart rate went up a little bit at that time. And yeah, so now I ride slightly to the left or slightly to the right, 3/4 of the way over the road, so that I can either escape to the right or to the left if something like that ever happens again during the winter months. Now when to go out? Most of us are weekend riders. Some of us commute to work and back, so it can't be helped heading out early morning when there's a bit of a frost still on the ground. One thing I do with just being a weekend rider really is I wait till lunchtime on a Saturday or a Sunday, give the sun time to come up, burn the frost off a little bit before I go out, and also just look at the temperature, keep your eye on that to make sure that it's above freezing. If it's below freezing and it's like that at lunchtime, then I won't head out on the bike, just for reasons obviously with ice on the road and things like that. So that's another tip that I generally rule of thumb stick by. So that's my winter tips, guys, that I have on gear for yourself to keep you warm and also to keep the bike tip top with a bit of maintenance here and there. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, still give it a thumbs up. All helps the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, then appreciate it if you can subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you on another one soon. Ciao for now.